But even though people don't use her, we're going to show you how it's done. And for a couple months after that, everyone used her all the time or banned her out. And she's kind of fallen off a little bit lately as far as teams favoring her. So I'm really cool pick there by MiG Blaze. Helios actually picking up his own jungle. Yep. Not going to have to switch that out. So that's going to be really fun to see. Shyvana, she's very, very fast, clear times, and also good counter jungling. Probably one of the few champs that's faster and better at countering than Mundo. Yeah, or I guess they're maybe close to even, but I would say Shyvana might have a little edge.
She is a rather tanky champion, but also able to jump to the back lines and do a lot of DPS to the AD champions of your opponent. But like you were saying, we don't see her a lot recently because a lot of the teams here in Korea are favoring more just the straight tankiness of Mundo or Olaf in the jungle, just being able to stay alive throughout the entire fight and absorb a lot of the hits from the opponent. So we'll see how those two styles fight against each other in this game.
Well, if you build Shyvana tanky, she can be very tanky as well. Her ultimate does give her extra defenses, so we're going to have to see how that goes. And she's just so good at, like you said, jumping to the back of the enemy team and isolating one of their carries. So at the top, it is going to be actually Kennen versus Jarvan. We saw Jarvan locked in there instead. Forgot to mention that. We were too busy talking about. I was too busy talking about Shyvana. But so Vladimir's actually going to be in the middle, and we're going to see Jarvan top instead versus that Kennen. Very smart move there because Kennen often doesn't do quite as well against those bruisers sometimes, although he does have that range, so it really could go either way. It's going to come down to the skill of those two players.
Yeah, not only that, but with Paragon on Urgot, he's going to be doing a lot of tanky abilities when he gets to later in the game, building that Frozen Heart and the Brutalizer. While a Lilac on Jarvan can build a lot more AD like we saw in some of the earlier games in this tournament, and he can make up for the damage that Urgot's not actually dealing out.
You know what I just realized? Mundo, no mana. Vladimir, no mana. Guess who's going to get blue buff? Urgot's going to get blue buff in the bottom lane every time after the first one.
Even the first one you might get, and then that would allow Ashar to help the mid lane a little bit more, or go for a counter jungle against Shyvana at her own red.
Actually, yeah, that's true. Urgot can get that blue buff and immediately head down to bottom lane, and so we might see a roaming Taric roaming around with the jungler to do counter jungling, that kind of thing. For the first amount of time. Anyway, we're going to get into game number 4 here very, very soon. We just saw our ADs. There's your supports, Soraka and Taric, both very good at sustainability. They both have heals and some utility as well, with a silence on Soraka and a stun on Taric. Ladies and gentlemen, Team OP has to win this game to stay alive in this series to get a shot at the finals. Blaze wants to lock down their chance at the finals right now if they win it. We're going to get into game number 4 right now. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 4. Fantasy Star going to cover the top here. We saw he does have Spell Vamp Quince, by the way, starting off with 6% Spell Vamp right off the bat.
So Fantasy Star definitely building for AP. Going to be synergizing well with Ambition as well. If he builds that Will of the Ancients, his aura is going to be able to affect Lustboy and allow Lustboy's heals to be that much more effective. However, if we look at the summoner spells of OP, there's 3 Ignites on that team. A little bit redundant, but when you factor in Lustboy's Wish, they're going to be able to shut down a lot of the potential heal that's going to be coming out of Soraka.
Oh, they're going in for an evade here. Leading the way is Ashert with that stun. And they're going to go ahead and move around here. Sivir is getting out of dodge.
Captain Jack staying in a position where he can see when they come, but also dodge away and run home very quickly. Even at level 1, you really can't stay at your turret against 5 champions of the enemy team, especially when you're a squishy AD champion that's focused on dealing damage, not so much on taking it.
And this is interesting. We see what you were talking about, I think last week, where a lot of teams these days, when they're doing an invasion, they will ward their own jungle to see if the other team counter-invades. And so they, in fact, have full vision of Team Blaze taking their wraiths right now and possibly their red buff. Well, actually not full vision of the raids, but they're going to see if they take the red buff. So both teams are just going to trade red buffs is what it looks like. And Sivir and Soraka are like, we don't care if the whole team is just a few feet away. We're just going to go ahead and take the golems anyway.
You know, it'll be interesting to see what Team OP does with their blue buff, whether they give it to Urgot like you're talking about, or if or if Nolja is actually going to grab it early on just to get that extra experience and cooldown reduction.
Oh, wow. Early attack here. Paragon and Lustboy both very low on health. The Ignite goes down. Oh, the flash! Oh, the Summoner heal saves Paragon for the moment. Another Boomerang Blade misses. Misses. The auto attacks, though. Is it going to be enough? Captain Jack as well. Oh, a Simul kill. Oh, my God. The kill's going to Sivir, though, and Tarek, so that's going to be a little bit more in favor of Sivir. Oh, no. Nolja wants the kill on Lustboy, though. He just sits there and takes it.
Yeah, it was good for Sivir to actually get that first blood, but the thing is that first blood is not very good when you actually lose your support as well. So right from the beginning, Team OP is going to have a little bit of an advantage. We saw that happen because while MiG was grabbing heal and exhaust for their summoner spells in the bottom lane, we saw OP grabbing ignite and heal. So the Ignite's going to be a lot more aggressive, and since Paragon's going to be doing a lot of damage with his abilities, Exhaust doesn't have quite as much effect on that as it would on an AD that's dealing only attack damage. Yeah,
a little bit unfortuitous there for that Soraka Lustboy to be in that position. Thought he was okay, didn't expect Mundo to come out of his own jungle right at that moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, Urgot did get sent home without any actual minion kills, so Wisely did get an assist. He was only able to buy some cloth armor. Meanwhile, Sivir was able to pick up Doran's Blade. So Sivir's actually going to be slightly ahead here in the laning phase, but Tarek at level 3 against Soraka's level 2 is going to really help from the support department.
Helios is waiting for one of them to check that bush, maybe waiting for Asher to go and do a ward, and then is going to jump on him when he goes to ward, but realizes they're pushed up too far. Nothing's going to happen here. Decides to recall.
Yeah, we had a ping coming down from A Lilac in his own bushes. I'm not sure what he was focusing for. It'd be nice to be able to hear exactly what these teams are saying throughout the entire game, but that would get a little bit distracting, so we'll try to figure out how to make that work in 5 to 10 years and then start implementing that.
Uh-oh, Lilac going in, going for the attack, but not able to get enough damage, and Nolja not in a position to land.
Minion grabbing that briefcase, trying to go to the office because he does not like being on the front lines. Yep,
so Captain Jack is pretty decently ahead on those minion kills. Urgot catching up, though, significantly. Only 7 or 8 behind at this point. 6 now at this very moment.
Yep,
oh, and here goes the full combo for both players at the beginning, at the middle here. Corn Salad knows he's dead, tries to get the kill on Ambition, and it does not happen. MiG getting another kill. It's now 2-2 on the board.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure here on Team OP. They must win this game. MiG Blaze has a little bit of breathing room, and also MiG, the team itself, has the only experience of playing this blind pick mode if it goes to the 5th game. So MiG is going to have a little bit more advantage, I think, if it goes to that 5th game. So they're going to feel a little bit more comfortable in this game, and being relaxed when you're in a match that determines whether or not you're going to win $100,000 is kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on OP right now, and things are really even right now. Uh-oh, Fantasy Star a little bit of trouble. He actually just decides not to leave too much. He might just kill off those last couple minions and then go back, but Nolja gets caught in the jungle here. This is looking bad for Nolja. Everyone is coming. Everyone except Kennen on the entire team is boxing him in. He is not getting away.
No, he's not going to get away, but he's going to try to buy some time for the rest of his team to be able to make up for this in minion kills. Going to dive into the turret. I guess that got him killed a little bit faster. Maybe he wanted to go home now.
I guess maybe he wanted to get back into his jungle quickly rather than distracting. And, I mean, I don't think, well, yeah, Vladimir has just hit level 6. But previous to that, we didn't have any ultimates available, which kind of changes the dynamic of a few of the things that we've seen in the last couple minutes. Otherwise, we might have seen Vladimir get a kill. We might have seen Mundo get away if he had his ultimate.
Yeah, that's really true. And now that Fantasy Star's hit 6, he's going to try to keep A Lilac away from the minions, prevent him from leveling up anytime soon.
We're starting to see level 6s across the board. Makes things even more exciting.
Yep.
Lilac's going to have Cataclysm. He's going to want to jump on Kennen, although sometimes you don't necessarily want to be on top of Kennen.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to do it anytime soon. He hasn't gone back to buy yet, so he's only got those boots of speed.
Oh, but here comes Mundo. He dodges into the bush, but he still has vision. There's the exhaust. No, he's just gonna die. Team OP gets another kill. Mundo back into the jungle.
That was really unfortunate for Phantasy Star. That was another case of having too much vision is almost a bad thing. He did have a ward in the enemy tri-bush, so he would know if Mundo came from that direction. But Mundo intelligently came from the river instead, so was able to stay hidden for just a couple of extra seconds, and that was exactly what Team OP needed to convert that into a kill. Yeah,
and Kennen was pushed up pretty far as well, so he just didn't have the room to get away. When they tried that before, he actually had a minion wave come there at the exact moment to kind of block Mundo out, but he didn't have it at that point.
Beautiful timing here for Jarvan. He was able to go back and buy a Hex Drinker right out, so he's going to come into lane and be very defensible against Kennen. Meanwhile, Kennen being killed there was not able to get his Hextech Revolver. He was probably being a little bit greedy, just wanted to get a little bit of extra gold before going back so he could finish off that item, but that greediness got him into a situation that got him killed there.
Yep. He does still have that spell vamp though, so
yep.
He's going to be able to sustain pretty well. Captain Jack here, probably hoping that Urgot attacks him so that he can get some mana back with the spell shield, but not going to happen. It looks like OP's going to set up for a dragon here.
Oh,
and
I like
they have
this.
everyone here, and not everyone from MiG.
Ashart, or the entire team of Team OP didn't actually show themselves except for Ashart. He dropped down that vision ward, was able to take out the ward from MiG Blaze, and then he went back to lane to make it look like he was just clearing. The rest of Team OP, meanwhile, started Dragon so they could finish it off before MiG Blaze realized what was going on.
And Noel's just going to go ahead and pass off the blue buff. And it is going to be given to Urgot, in fact, just like we were talking about before.
Yeah, and that's going to help him in the lane against Sivir. Not really needing to focus on Sivir herself. He can focus more on Soraka because taking down either champion is going to give them the advantage. Helios sitting in the bush, but he's got a little ward friend there.
How did he see that? Did Soraka put a vision board in the bush?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be more sustainability for Urgot as well, because he can throw up his shield when a Boomerang Blank's heading at him or something along those lines.
Yep. And because Mundo was able to get those first 2 kills, he does actually have an Oracle's Elixir now, so he's going to be able to go and clear a lot of the vision of MiG Blaze. So even after getting that dragon, they're still going to be even more ahead for the global objectives.
Corn Salad doing fairly well in the mid lane. Going to probably go back and get a Will of the Ancients, I would imagine. Nope, just picks up some boots, level 2 boots, more mobility. Pretty good, because sometimes when Ryze is bearing down on you, you want to make sure you get away from him. He can't rune prison you.
Yeah, we see Captain Jack once again staying on these level 1 boots for the AD carry. He did get that BF sword a little bit faster, so he's... if you notice, the last Boomerang Blade did a huge chunk of damage against Urgot, even though Urgot does have that cloth armor. So nice job by Captain Jack to choose to wait to buy some of the items that he might not need for his playstyle.
Ooh, not able to spell shield that. Takes a few Acid Hunters to the face. Oh no, Kennen is almost dead. He's trying to Lightning Rush. Nice juke to get away. It looks like he is probably going to die up there. In the meantime, Asher going down. How is Phantasy Star still alive? There he goes. And the kill does go to Jarvan. Paragon's almost dead as well here. He's facing 3 champs at once here, just trying to pop out as much damage as he can. Looks like Helios did use Dragon's Descent to stay alive in that, soak up some damage. So both teams trading kills in different lanes. Oh no, position reversal goes down on Captain Jack. Oh, but if he'd done it a little bit better time, if he can, Corn Salad get the combo on him. Oh, he's running in the pool, the ultimate. Transfusion gets the kill regardless. He was so low on health.
However, he is going to be stuck behind enemy lines here. Ambition has come down to say something about it. Rune Prism going off. Ignite so he can get the lifesteal as well. And that's going to be a kill. So he did trade his own life for killing Captain Jack.
Well, did I miss something? Why did he run into the enemy jungle instead of back to...
It was the only way he could go. Ambition was cutting him off
coming down the river?
Yep.
Okay, I see.
He was trying to just pull him away. Good thought, but a little unfortunate to be in that position to begin with. He was trying to convert 1 extra kill and got a little bit too greedy once again.
Well, these teams are just trading back and forth, kill for kill, tower for not quite tower yet, but gold count pretty similar. It is a little bit in OP's favor, about 1,000 gold ahead, a little bit more than 1,000.
Yeah, I really like this choice by Team OP to drop the Oracle's Elixir on Mundo. That's a common choice, but the fact that they're not using Mundo for the ganks, they're allowing him to take the middle lane and then sending the Ambition, or sending Corn Salad to wherever they actually want to send the ganks up. So they're not putting the Oracle's Elixir in any sort of risk throughout the entire game, and you're able to get the full effectiveness on it without actually making any other sacrifices throughout the game.
Yeah, although of course Mundo roaming around, clearing out wards in between just to make sure that he's keeping those down, because it's part of the point of the Oracles is you want to make sure that the wards are cleared so they can do those ganks. So good teamwork there by Team OP. And it looks like they might be pushing down here on draw bottom tower. No, not quite. Never mind. Oh.
Yeah, even though we see that Phantasy Star is ahead in minion score, he's actually down in kills, but he was able to grab the Will of the Ancients there, so he's going to be coming back into lane against a Lilac. Very strong. However, Dragon's going to be up in less than a minute here, so both teams want to make sure they can clear the wards.
This is kind of interesting. We've got Mundo camping in the jungle there. No, I'm sorry, he just recalled from the river. Never mind.
Yep.
Not as interesting as I thought. Recalling one of the less interesting things that happens in this game.
Press one button, wait 10 seconds.
Sorry, wait a few seconds. Sivir putting some more damage on that tower. Both bottom towers are actually almost gone, I believe. I think Blaze's tower is also very near to gone.
Yeah, because Phantasy Star was roaming a little bit, that allowed a Lilac to do a lot of damage in this top lane, almost pushing up to the second tier turret, but is going to recall as he sees Phantasy Star coming into lane. He has not gone back to buy anytime soon, so yep, going back and grabbing 2 Doran's Blades. That's going to give him a lot more damage and survivability within his lane. He doesn't need to go to that Maw Malmortius quite yet because he's not dropping down below 30% health anytime soon.
Nolja's going to once again give the blue golem buff with gets him mana regeneration and cooldown reduction to Paragon. Really, really cool that they're able to do that. Just consistently give that blue buff to Urgot because of the fact that they don't have mana on their jungler or their mid.
Yep, now Dragon is up. Team OP is not in position for this, but they do have vision of MiG Blaze going, and they're going to try to convert on it. However, Dragon is down to less than half health before anyone from OP can get there. It's going to be a Dragon for MiG. However, they're going to try to pick off some kills as MiG exits the area.
Rise is pinned aside. Oh no, they're stuck in the Baron pit. Phantasy Star goes in with the ult. He's going to die eventually though. Captain Jack coming in from the side, getting a lot of damage on Team OP. Helios gets a kill at the corner there. He's going to get Lilac as well, I think, before he dies. No, Lilac flashes out of the way. Rise, running for dear life, is going to go down as well. Captain Jack does pick up one more kill to even it at 3 kills apiece. And it looks like both teams are just going to retreat. An even exchange. MiG did get the Dragon out of that.
Yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate for Paragon. He actually did do a position reverser on Ambition, but pulled him actually away from the area of danger as the rest of his team went to the area that he was before the reverse. And that allowed him to stay alive a little bit longer, picking up 1 extra kill against Team OP before going down.
Yeah, it's always nice. The suppression is good if you can suppress the right person, but if you get them to safety, it's not necessarily the best thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that could have gone so badly for MiG. They had Rise pinned on the left. They had 2 champions pinned in the Dragon Pit that could not get out. And they were just like, oh crap, we're going to get bear down on. There's 5 of them here. They're going to slaughter us in the Dragon Pit. Luckily, we did have Kennen have the foresight to flash ult in there and do the engagement so they could get everyone involved at the same time. Worked out really well.
Yeah, that was really nice positioning by MiG Blaze to take a situation that could have been really bad, like you're saying, and make the best of it. Also nice at the end of the fight, Captain Jack was at almost full health. Meanwhile, both champions alive for Team OP were at less than half. Yeah. But instead of trying to chase them and waste a lot of time, he just turned around and went to the mid turret to try to put on a little bit of extra damage there. Yep. So really good job of him not to get too greedy when he was in a very advantageous situation and just to make the best of it. We also see he already has a Bloodthirster, so he's going to want to farm that up as quickly as possible. Should be at least halfway to full at the moment. And when that does get to 40 stacks, it's going to be really, really strong.
Oh, flash position reverser gets canceled. I think, actually, I'm not sure what happened there. The dragon runs in there. Corncell trying to get out with his pool is barely not going to get out of there. A lot of damage being done posthumously by that Hemoplague. And it looks like it's just going to be 2 kills for MiG, and they're going to get this tower as well. That's painful for OP to see. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 kills. I'm sorry, they got Jarvan as well. So that is painful to see all of those champions with low health and not be able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, it was a really nice attempt by A-Lilac to pull Phantasy Star away from the fight. Phantasy Star is the one that's going to be doing a lot of the area of effect damage, and using Cataclysm on him kept him from doing the maximum amount of damage. But MiG Blaze is just doing a whole lot even without Cannon, so it wasn't enough to keep the team alive or either of their 2 middle turrets.
Did you see what happened with the position reverser? Did he get rune prisoned or something like that in the middle of it? It looked like he started it, but he didn't go off.
Yeah, it got canceled by MiG Blaze. I'm not sure if it was a silence or a rune prism.
Okay.
But either way, it was nice timing for
them. Oh yeah,
them.
it might have been a silence. Okay. Anyway. Anyway, it was good for them to stop that.
Yep.
I was just wondering if you had seen exactly how that happened, because I wasn't sure what happened there. But yeah, so still though, I mean, even though that looked like a really good fight for MiG, they got a lot out of it. Still only a little under 4,000 gold ahead, which is not insurmountable. It's starting to get to that point, or if they win another fight, it's going to start to get out of hand. It's going to start to steamroll, but it's not quite there yet. Team OP has shown that they can work well under pressure. They are not out of this.
Yeah, and while MiG Blaze won that last fight very convincingly, the thing is that the main damage coming out of MiG Blaze is from Sivir. She's really well farmed at the moment. She's got that Bloodthirster, I think, maxed right now, and Paragon has not yet built his Frozen Heart. So as soon as he finishes that item, the power of Sivir is really going to go down. We might also see a Randuin's Omen coming out of Mundo sometime soon to counteract Sivir as well. When those 2 items come together, it is really going to shut down her attack speed and pretty much overall DPS that she's going to be dishing out.
Yep, and we are starting to see a little bit of, I mean, you're talking about Sivir being really farmed up. She has the Bloodthirster, she has the Quicksilver Sash. You know, we've talked about this before with Urgot. Even Loco mentioned this in their interview before about why they went with the, the Ezreal in addition to Urgot, or why they went with Graves instead. Well, someone clapping their hands. Hold that thought. Dragon's Descent on them. Paragon trying to do the switcher. Phantasy Star's going to go down very quickly despite all that health steal, life steal, and oh my god, Team MiG starting to get routed. Can they turn it around though? They do get a kill. Are they going to get another one? Massive damage coming down. Corn Salad does perish. Is he going to get enough damage though? Nolja running for dear life. Asher trying to heal him. No, Asher's going to go down. Helios with the flame breath picks up the final blow on Mundo. It is an ace. Oh no. Ladies and gentlemen, MiG is very, very, very close to clinching their spot in the finals now. They are starting to get really out of control. OP needed that fight and they did not get it.
Yeah, I'm not sure who actually did that clap, but it was a very nice fight for MiG Blaze. Able to start it at the blue buff, pick it off, and steal it from Team OP, in addition to taking all their lives and their turrets. And their turret.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, what I was going to say before that all happened was, we've seen this before where when they have that Urgot in play as their AD carry on the bottom, and then he builds tanky, you don't have the traditional AD carry. You don't have a champion that can stand behind the enemy, behind your line, and just dish out 300 crit, 300 crit, 300 crit over and over again, or more if they get really farmed up. But you don't have someone that can just dish out constant damage, and so it's starting to hurt them in these team fights, despite the fact that Urgot did well in lane. Hold that thought. Paragon gets caught. Is he going to pump? He pumps immediately. Cannot get away. Engagement here. Oh, this could go very bad. This could be. Oh, a double kill from Rise. Triple kill from Rise. Is he going to catch a Lilac? He gets slowed down by Helios, who's trying to juke his way out of this. He's trying to recall here in the middle. I don't think it's going to happen. He's going to die to Captain Jack as well. Asher runs back to base, and I think they're going to get an inhibitor out of this.
Yeah, you were talking about Team OP not having enough AD damage coming out from their team. Well, that's a little redundant. But anyway, Jarvan's meant to be that, but he just hasn't been getting the farm he really needs. He also needs to jump on the champions that are the focus. But the thing is that a lot of different champions from MiG Blaze are who are dealing out the damage, and they're just spreading out perfectly. Meanwhile, Urgot's not picking off who he needs to. He's getting killed very quickly because he still does not have a frozen heart.
Yeah.
And that is just a catalyst to the rest of the fight going down in MiG Blaze's favor.
He's just picked up a Negatron cloak. I think he did that while he was dead, or he picked it up recently, but that's the other thing is there's a ton of magic damage going out, and while you're building a frozen heart, you're building armor, you're not building magic resist, so he's been not able to hold up to the double AP, the Cannon ult, the Rise abilities as well, so he hasn't been able to do a whole lot, and it looks like OP's going for a Desperation Baron. MiG sees it now. They're going in here. They turn around and jump on Helios. Fantasy Star's going to pop immediately despite Soraka doing a ton of healing. Azure forced to decide, can Court Salad stay alive to do enough damage? He does get a kill while he dies, but Paragon is going to perish. Double kill. Oh my god. And once again, it is only Asher. Asher, man, his team might be a little bit mad at him every single time he limps away from the battles. Although MiG might be a little bit mad at him for keeping them from securing an ace over and over again. But this is getting out of hand, ladies and gentlemen. MiG, 8,000 gold ahead, is going to take another inhibitor.
This is really nice positioning by Team OP. The problem is their team composition just is so far behind. Everyone on their team is behind their counterparts on MiG. So while they're making the right decisions, if they were even, they're not even. So it's not the right decisions. They keep getting wiped or near wiped, and then losing a second inhibitor. That's going to leave the Baron open. MiG is, at least MiG Frost is looking really, really happy.
Yeah.
This is exactly what they wanted to see in game number 4.
You got to hand it to them, though. It was a gutsy move, but I think it was the right move to try and go for that Desperation Baron, because they knew they were behind. They knew they had to do something. I believe they had an Oracles at the time, so they knew that there were no wards there. It was just the fact that, you know what, everyone on MiG respawned, and they finished healing, and they're like, you know that moment that you get where you're like, wait a minute, we don't see any of their champions on the map. Crap, check Baron now, because you know that's what they're doing. And they got there just in time. If they had been there 10 seconds later, OP would have gotten the Baron buff.
And they got there as one team, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
If they trickled in just to check Baron, they would have been picked off by Team OP. So Team OP, like you're saying, really good decision in that situation, just got a little bit unlucky.
Soraka just shooting Baron for no particular reason there. Oh, they are going to start up Baron, actually. And MiG Blaze does have their entire team healed up now. They've got full items, so that means that the 10,000 gold advantage they have is really going to mean a lot. Rise actually just did use his ultimate there, I believe. Yeah, he used his ult there, so he doesn't have it right now, but it doesn't even matter. He was able to scare off Lilac, and they get the Baron without any contest.
Yeah, with that Baron, they're going to be able to push up this top lane. Only 2 turrets left to that 3rd inhibitor. With 3 inhibitors down, there's really not much Team OP could do to recover.
Oh no, the flash ult from Fantasy Star catches Lilac. Everyone else jumps on top of him just when they thought their whole team was up and can recollect. They're down. Oh my god, and now they're going to bear it on yet another turret. Look at this huge minion wave. They're going to get a lot of damage done on this turret. They might even get the turret. If they have all 3 inhibitors down, I hate to say it, but I think there's 0 chance for OP. They're forced to defend on their Nexus towers. They have both of them up right now, but I don't know how they're going to hold this off.
Yeah, I don't think they know it either. They're just trying to throw whatever they can.
Sivir
but this is going to be MiG.
Their Paragon pops. MiG Blaze is going to the finals to face their brother team, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing they can do to stop this. Sivir pounding away on the Nexus. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a GG! 3-1 Blaze showing absolute dominance.
Very
OP
nice job.
Doing a really cool little ward ceremony from their spawn at the end, but Blaze absolutely wiping them out in the fourth game.
All right, now we're going to get a dance out of Blaze. We can see it from Frost. And they learn everything from Frost as well. This is actually Team OP feeling a little bit unhappy, but still a really nice job for them to make it to the semifinals. Oh, they look a little tired.
You're on camera, buddy. Do something. All right, well, Maximum Impact Gaming has definitely proven their dominance in the Korean scene here this week, with both of their teams making it to the finals. In just a couple short weeks, ladies and gentlemen, they are both going to be playing against each other in the finals to determine who is the better MiG team.
Yeah, great showing here from Team OP. In that first game, they got an early advantage. They unfortunately just let it slip away to MiG. And then in that second game, they did really, really well.
Oh, the thumbs down.
Unfortunately, they weren't able to convert in this third game. MiG figuring out exactly what Team OP used as their strong points and banning them out or taking them away from them, finding the counter to it. So nice adaptability from Blaze as well throughout, just within this series. Just beautiful to see the play like that.
Yeah. And again, you know, really clever idea there. A really, really cool team composition from Team OP that game. Going with the Manaless Mid.
They're singing one of the popular K-pop songs, Bubble Bubble Pop Pop. That's from Kyona, Bubble Pop, the song.
Some hearts from Blaze to their fans. And it was a clever team composition, giving that blue buff to Urgot over and over again so that he could have some lane dominance. But the Sivir counter pick, able to spell shield a lot and make sure that they didn't lose farm there. And at the end of the game, Blaze had the AD carry that could just pump out damage, and OP did not. Plus, they had just really, really good engagements.
Yeah.
Really good engagements that whole game, whole series. I mean, if you think about it, it was the game 2 where OP won. That was the game where they had the best engagements, and they were able to pick off Lulu over and over again at the beginning of the fights and gain the advantage of the fights over and over again. There's Loco Doco.
He's going to be happy. He doesn't need to practice, according to his interview from Wednesday.
You know, they said that, but
yeah,
there's actually a lot on the line here because MiG Blaze, I mean, they're considered like the #2 team, right? They're going to be practicing their hearts out. They want to show that they are actually the #1 team. There we go. Brandon,
thank you once again, Riot, for making this awesome game and supporting esports. None of this would have been possible without them. The reason their game is so popular today is because they focus on constantly making it better and better for you guys, the viewers, the fans, and then also just listening to what you have to say.
And again, remember that even though we keep, focusing on him, he's kind of the star there. He is actually surrounded by over a dozen Riot employees right now in the audience today as well, who have all helped out a ton into making this a great game. And there we go, Team Blaze walking across to the interview booth. We are going to have our Korean interview, and as usual afterwards, after the credits roll, we're going to, I don't know if there are credits actually, but after the end of the broadcast, we're going to have our English interview, who we're actually going to have a special guest interviewer today.
Yep, a little bit more experience at interviewing people than we are, but hopefully we're prepared to your faces at least.
So make sure you tweet us some questions, though. Tweet at Moltrap, at Torch Gaming, and at Seltzer, please.
Yep.
Seltzer from CSN is going to be doing our interview today. So tweet us some questions. Let us know what you want to know from Blaze, and we will try and ask them.
Yeah, we did see some awesome games here today. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that 5th set, the blind mode. But maybe we'll see it MiG versus MiG in the finals on May 19th in Korean time. I guess that's most likely around the world as well, because everyone will have caught up to Korea at that point. In the meantime, though, we do actually have some other exciting matches coming to you next week. There will be a 3rd and 4th place match because there's going to be a lot of prize money on the line, even for those teams. Also, even more important is the top 3 teams of this season get an auto berth into Season 2 of LOL the Champions, which is going to be even bigger. So that 3rd seed is going to be really important. Tune in next Wednesday to find out who actually wins that. And then next Friday, we're having the 4th place team, so whoever loses on Wednesday, going up against the winner of Nice Game TV's online league. NLB, I believe, is what it is.
NLB.
And some of the teams that were played in LOL the Champions actually played in that tournament as well, but got knocked out in the group stage. So there's still even some really strong Korean teams that we haven't seen in this tournament yet.
Yeah, exactly. So the first place of NLB is going to play the fourth place of LOL the Champions, and the winner of that gets that fourth seed into next season. So whoever wins, I mean, that's going to be even more on the line for that third, fourth place match, because if they lose that match, then they don't get that automatic seed into next season, which is going to mean a lot. The competition for the qualifiers next season is going to be so much bigger, so much more intense than it was this season.
Especially if we have a few more international teams coming over here to try to compete in those tournaments.
Yeah, exactly. The teams that got knocked out this season, CLG and Fnatic, if they want to participate next season, which I hope they will, and they've indicated at least some desire to do so, they're actually going to have to go through that qualification process. So already a couple world-class teams potentially in that, as well as, I mean, you know, like the fourth place team, whoever doesn't make it into the seed, you know, potentially like a Zenix Storm or Team OP could be extremely strong contenders in the qualifiers as well.
Yep, so those are going to be really exciting matches for next week. But 2 weeks from now, May 19th, is going to be the final. It is actually going to be at somewhere that was just on the screen. Ilsan, which is in Northwest Seoul. And then here's also the winners of the Azubu special gift from today. All you need to do to get that yourself, if you're not one of those two people, is to go to azubu.com and sign up with an email address that actually is valid.
There you go.
That's pretty much it. And
easy
then you get cool
as
stuff.
pie. Or is it easy as cake?
Yeah, they're both delicious.
Simple as pie? They're both delicious. You know what else is delicious?
Winning.
League of Legends.
Yeah.
So we're going to be going to that Korean interview here in just a moment, and we're going to do the English interview afterwards. But just absolutely amazing games this week. Truly, truly epic semifinals. Even though this one didn't go to a fifth game, it was still a very back-and-forth series, I would say. And, you know, if things had gone a little bit differently in the early game, this fourth game could have gone differently. We could have gone to that fifth game. Anyway, here's our Korean interview. We'll be back. Actually, we will not be back.
네,
we'll be back
치열한
before
접전
we hand
끝에
it
또
over
다른
to
결승
Seltzer.
진출팀이 탄생을 했습니다. MIG 블레이즈가 여기 현장에서 만나보겠습니다. 축하합니다. 말이 막 보이네요. 진짜 엄청나게 멋있는 경기였는데 드디어 MIG가 결승을 휩쓸었습니다. 이제 형제 간의 그 접전이 이제 얼마 남지 않았는데 지금 형제팀을 만나게 된 그런 소감이 어떠신가요?
지금 그거는 별로 상관없습니다. 지금 이긴 게 정말 기분이 좋고요. 지금 결승전은 지금 별로 생각을 안 하고 있어요.
그러면 이제 경기에 대해서, 결승에 대해서 안 물어보고 경기에 대해서 물어보겠습니다. 자, 1경기 때 카사딘을 밴을 안 했어요. 그게 콘셀러드 선수를 겨냥한 것이었나요?
그게 저희가 1경기 때 자르반 카사딘이 분명히 풀어주면 나올 거라고 생각을 했거든요. 그 1경기 때 자르반 카사딘을 주고 그걸 이기면은 2, 3경기를 쉽게 풀어갈 수 있으니까 그에 맞는 맞춤 전략을 준비해서 저희가 그거를 격파시켰죠. 카사딘 자르반을.
그래서 카사딘을 위해서 이제 투미드로 갔잖아요. 그것도 다 이제 정해져 있던 그런 전략적인 거였나요?
네, 원래 처음부터 그렇게 하기로 했었고 그게 제가 만든 전략이었죠.
정말 상대방의 전략을 꽉 잡고 있는 정말 적을 알고 나를 알면 백전백승 이런 거 같습니다. 자, 그리고 이 경기에서 초반에 정글 아무무가 굉장히 순환을 많이 당했어요. 헬리우스 선수 3경기 때 2경기는 말하지 말죠?
네, 말하지 말죠. 제가 항상 진짜 아무무를 하면서 스크림을 하면서 항상 카운터적으로 당해요. 진짜 항상. 그래서 저는 그냥 포기했어요.
근데 그러고도 또 한타 때 엄청나게 기여도가 컸어요.
네, 저는 그러니까 현우 형은 플래시 붕대를 써요. 근데 저는 플래시 붕대가 아니라 플래시 붕을 써요. 그냥. 그러니까 저는 무조건 완벽한 각도가 아니면 붕을 안 쓰기 때문에 최대한 재거든요. 잰다고 하죠. 그러니까 그런 식으로 쓰기 때문에 아무래도 한타 기여도가 높았던 것 같아요.
우리 헬리오스 선수가 쉬는 시간에도 저한테 들어와서 저희는 이기면 이겨요. 이렇게 말씀하셨거든요.
네, 이기면 이겨야죠.
네.
이긴다 말을 했으면 책임을 져야 돼요.
네. 정말 멋있게 책임지셨는데 4경기에서는 또 시바나를 하셔가지고 적팀을 막 끝까지 쫓아가서 다 죽이시고 그러셨어요.
네, 원래 쉬바나를 그렇게 많이 하지는 않는데 그러니까 연습은 많이 했거든요. 그래도 근데 이번 경기에서 쉬바나를 뽑음으로써 이렇게 캐리를 할 줄은 몰랐어요. 진짜.
그럼 평소에 뭐 많이 연습은 했었나요? 시바나로?
그러니까 쉬바나는 많이는 그러니까 한 제 캐릭터 100%라고 치면은 한 10%, 15% 정도? 그러니까 많이 한 거죠. 캐릭 많은 것 중에 하니까.
네, 많이 하셨군요. 네, 그리고 우리 캡틴 잭 선수 다시 만나볼게요. 신발을 굉장히 늦게 샀어요. 뭐 아주 그냥 뭐 신발이 다 따라 빠질 때까지 기다리셨는데 왜 그러신 거예요?
아 그게 그러니까 열정의 검을 달게 되면 이동 속도 증가가 있잖아요. 제가 여러 번 실험을 해봤는데 그 신발에서 티어 2로 올릴 때 그거 대신에 만약 돈이 충분해서 열정의 검을 올릴 수 있으면 그걸로 가는 게 더 효율적이라고 생각이 들더라고요. 왜냐면 이속 상승률도 비슷비슷하고 그래서 계속 파밍하고 집 들어가고 했는데 질에서 또 바로 다음 그 팬텀 댄서까지 업그레이드가 돼가지고 제가 계속 그 1티어 신발로 다닌 것 같네요.
아, 감독님이 게임 보시면서 제가 먹은 거 아니야? 막 이랬었거든요. 그게 다 전략이었군요.
네, 전략이었어요. 그러니까 돈이 충분하면은 무조건 그냥 1티어 신발에서 그냥 바로 유령 무리를 가는 걸 추천할게요.
네, 여러분 잘 들으셨죠? 받아 적으세요. 네, 그리고 우리 캡틴 잭 선수가 CS를 굉장히 잘 먹는다는 그 평가가 있는데 제가 보기에는 좀 그 소라카하고 막 이렇게 서폿으로 활동해주신 우리 러스트보이 선수가 잘해주신 거 아닌가, 내조가 굉장하지 않았나 싶거든요.
내줘요? 택배 형이 좀 많이 챙겨줘야 돼요. 그런 근데 평소에 침도 흘리고 밥 먹으면서 침 흘리고 여기서 많이 닦아줘야 되고 내조가 많이 필요한 그런 원딜입니다. 그래서 많이 챙겨줬어요.
팀장님을 얼르고 달래는 우리 팀원들 정말 우애가 두텁네요. 자, 그리고 이제 결승에 진출하게 됐는데 이 팀이 특히 자기들끼리만 연습하는 팀으로 굉장히 유명하잖아요. 근데 이제는 좀 둘이 연습하기가 좀 그럴 것 같아요. 이제 어떻게 연습하실 건가요?
그냥 같이 해야죠 쭉.
네?
같이 합니다.
같이 합니까?
같이 합니다. 그래도 로코야, 나 모르는 전략은 준비해놔라. 난 너보다 5%는 앞서 있다.
자, 그리고 우리 판타지스타 선수에게 하나 여쭙고 싶은 게 감독님께서 정말 너무 힘들다, 나 너무 힘들다, 심장이 막 쫄깃쫄깃해지는 것 같다고 그러는데 이제 결승에 진출했으니까 감독님한테 한마디 해주실 건가요?
우승하고요.
네, 프로스 팀도 형제 팀도 모두 없다, 우리가 이겼다, 이런 포부시군요.
당연하죠.
네, 알겠습니다. 꼭 결승전에서 좋은 모습 보여주시길 바라겠고요. 자, 승자 인터뷰는 여기서 마치고요. 저는 여기서 인사드리겠습니다. 민주희였습니다.
All right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is your Korean interview. We're going to go to our English one very, very soon, but just to wrap up for you, real quick, here are the results. I'm sorry, this is not the results screen. You know the results.
Yeah, the results are there.
This is next week.
A little bit of clip notes from that interview. Essentially, Blaze is saying that they're really looking forward to playing Frost in the final, and they hope that Frost doesn't throw any practice games going into it, so they actually have a really good game for the finals.
Yeah, that was interesting. I think they said something about they were still going to practice together even though they were playing against each other. But, I mean, like we were saying before, Blaze, they're considered the B team. They have a lot to prove here. You can know they're going to be practicing their hearts out. Frost is going to have to practice just as hard if they are going to stand a chance and not just get obliterated by their brother team, basically. They need to kind of prove their dominance, too.
And there is the coach of both MiG Frost and MiG Blaze, almost looking in tears. He has done a wonderful job so far this season.
Proud.
All 10 people that he is lording over have made it to the finals, which is kind of difficult in a 5-person team game.
Yeah.
Nice math.
Yeah, very, very, very cool. Wow. Absolutely amazing to see both MiGs getting to the finals here. Definitely showing the dominance of that organization for this season, at least.
Yeah.
This season. You know, we saw Storm almost take out Frost.
Yep.
Blaze, you know, they look pretty dominant in this series, but they've also shown some weaknesses.
It's there. Make sure to check that. If you know those people, let them know. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's all right. Yeah, make sure you email marketing@azubu.com. Give them your name, address, and phone number, and send that from the email address you're registered with, so we'll know it's you. You can collect your prize. Anyway, that's going to do it for our broadcast for today. The semifinals are over. The finalists are determined. Next week is the third place match, the fourth place seed. Don't want to miss it. We'll be back to the English interview in just a moment.